On Blue Sky, you wrote, just got fired from being a freshman football coach if you want to know what MAGA does to communities. They don't care about what helps people because the school is certainly not going to find an ex-NFL player willing to coach there at that level. They only care about trying to hurt people. That is via Q Voice News that quoted you. Is that true?
Mhm. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's and again, like I was coaching at Edison for this would have been my sixth year, I believe. Never had any problems at the school. Like every football banquet at the end of the year, I'd have multiple parents come up to me and say, thank you for being a good role model for my kid. Thank you for teaching them. And what I said is also true in that as a former professional football player, like I didn't coach freshman football for the money. Like
Totally.
there is no money in coaching freshman football. I did it because I knew these kids like probably wouldn't ever have a chance to interact with a professional football player, right? Like that's, 99% of them aren't even going to go on to play college. And so if I can give them some guidance, right? If I can help them understand why staying in school is important and why studying is important, because that's what's going to help you later on in life. I mean, that I liked doing that. Like it was fun to be around them, and to watch them slowly grasp, oh yeah, this is how football works. This is how life works. And yeah, it's a shame because, I felt like I was doing a good job there and I was helping a lot of people. And there's a subset of our community that was just like, well, we're trying to score points. We want to make ourselves feel good. So we're going to get this guy fired.
For the record, you said you were fired because they were receiving too much attention. The school
Mm-hmm.
claimed the move was unrelated to your public comments. Their defense was because of a post where they
Right.
said they allege you suggested violence. So what exactly happened here?
Yeah. So when they brought me in for the meeting, their exact words were, "We have to let you go." Or sorry, we're getting too much attention. We have to let you go. The meeting was cordial. We talked about various other subjects. Not once did the threat of violence or anything like that come up. About I think it was either 2 or 3 days later, they retroactively said, "Oh, we fired Chris because he made a post threatening violence." And the post in question was on Blue Sky. It was linked to a video where we specifically stated, please stop review bombing the library. If you want to review bomb something, go find where the council members work instead. So I
So they
quote
didn't know
posted
what
that.
review bomb means.
Right, yeah, so I quote posted the video with the text, hey, I can't believe I have to say this. Stop fucking with the library. Go find where the council works and go blow those places up instead. Clearly, if you watch the video,
Oh God.
you understand I'm not advocating to blow up someone's place of employment. Like I don't think you need to be like a linguistics major to figure that out.
Totally. Totally.
Right.
Yeah,
and
of
and
course.
so yeah, and so there's this local Facebook group that essentially they cropped the tweet, which is a very common right wing
Yes.
tactic, right? Like they specialize in disinformation, and they made it seem like, oh, he's trying to promote violence against the council members. And so they sent it. I believe they sent it to the school, and I believe they sent it to HBPD. And so I got a call from a detective who seemed very insistent on claiming that I was promoting violence, and I kept having to push back that no, I'm not promoting violence. I have never promoted violence. Have you watched the video?
Mm.
She did not tell me whether or not she had watched the video. I said context is important. She claimed that I was promoting violence. Again, I had to push back. No, I'm not promoting violence. Like,
What sort of
it's,
questions was she asking you?
so basically, so she was. It wasn't even questions. It was she was making claims, and like I'm, I know how the cops work, and it's like, no, I'm not going to allow you to claim that I'm promoting violence when you're clearly taking something out of context and you're trying to use that against me. And so like she's like, you're walking a really thin line, and I'm just like, but I'm not promoting violence. Like the context there makes it very clear what I'm talking about. And so after the call, and I mentioned several times during the call, I'm like, if it makes you feel better, I can take the post down. And then she's like, well, no, you have your First Amendment right. I'm just like, well, okay, if it legitimately makes you concerned, because again, I care about my community. Like, I don't want anyone to think that it would be a call to violence, even though it's obviously not a call to violence. So I'm like, okay, fine. I will take the post down. And then I texted her afterwards with a picture. I'm like, here's a clarification. I took the post down. Here's a clarification. And my clarification was, I forget exactly what it was. It's still up on Blue Sky, but it's like, hey everyone, HPPD, review bombing is slang, and I have not called for violence, and I never will.
Well, good for
So
you.
yeah,
I'm glad you never called for violence, Chris. I'm really proud of you for that.
right? Like it's just like I don't want to blow. Like I live here.
Right.
Why would I? Like I don't want places getting blown up. Like go drop some 1-star reviews on them. Sure, do that. Don't mess with the library. The library is a great place and it's staffed by wonderful people.
Why does the library mean so much to you?
So for me, it's where my kids went growing up. They spend a pretty decent amount of time in there, like checking out books, reading, doing fun stuff, uh, and also it's just the idea of a library, like sort of the abstract concept of a library is this is a place of knowledge. It's a place where anyone can go, regardless of your political affiliation, and you can go find books and ideas, and especially you can find challenging ideas. Like you can find things that you may not have known ever existed, and you can engage with them and broaden your horizons and learn more things. And I think that is an essential public good that we have to protect, because if we don't allow libraries to present ideas, then all we have are propaganda centers.
True. Um, there was going to be there was something else that I wanted to ask you, and it's funny because I was at the gym this morning and I was listening to Rage Against the Machine, so it was
Mm-hmm.
fairly obvious where I'm going with this. Um, why do they want to ban so many books?
Well, I mean, like Rage says, you don't got to burn the books, you just got to remove them, right?
Mm-hmm.
like that's literally a line, and it's true. Is if people don't have knowledge of what they can be, then how will they ever know who they are, right? Like the whole point of banning LGBTQ books from children's and teen sections is that you don't want children to know that, oh, this might be who I am. And to me, that does a disservice. It does a disservice to the children themselves. It does a disservice to your community, because when a child feels like they don't belong or that people hate them, they're they're gonna have a really tough time growing up into a contributing member of society, because society has shown that they don't care, and that's a terrible thing to do to a kid.
Mm-hmm. What do you see for the future of Huntington Beach?
Uh, I don't know. It's like honestly, I don't know, because like I've been saying, Huntington Beach is kind of a microcosm of what's going on in the nation as a whole. And I mean, I'm gonna do my best to try to fight back against that here locally, and try to make people aware of this is what MAGA is all about. But honestly, our country is going down a really dark path, and if we don't get people acting in a hurry, and particularly our elected officials, like if they don't understand the severity of the situation we're in, I really don't know if we're going to have fair elections in the next election cycle in 2026. And again, I know that sounds hyperbolic to say, but Germany like went from a republic to a dictatorship, and I think it was what, like 52, 53 days.
Mm-hmm.
And the Trump administration looks like they're trying to speed run that. So I highly recommend people make local connections, figure out who your communities are, and just be prepared for whatever bullshit this administration does. Because if we want to maintain America and the idea of the American dream, we're gonna have to fight for it.
How did the council screw over Olympic surfing in the area?
Because they're MAGA assholes. like, like we're literally the surf capital of America, and we can't host the Olympic surfing competition because of our city council. You tell me how that's good for our
How
community.
did that happen? Can you take me through this?
Yeah, well, so it's been a whole compilation of things. It's been their stance on removing pride flags from city buildings. It's been the library stuff. It's been just their general combativeness towards both the state as well as the local residents. They did an air show settlement, which was it's not illegal, but they essentially gave away a crap ton of money to this air show, which I'm pretty sure they're connected to at least one or two of the city council members. And they've locked the city into a contract with the air show for, I think it's like the next 30 or 50 years. And we're paying like $8 million a year for this, all because an oil spill happened offshore. The air show had to cancel a day, and so they sued the city. And Normally what happens in that situation is the city tells you to go take a flying leap because that's covered under acts of God. Like you can't predict an oil spill. And it's also not the city's call to shut down the air show. It's the state's call. It's the Coast Guard. Like those are the people who actually shut things down. But instead, the city decided to do a private settlement and give a whole bunch of money to this group. This group also dumps a bunch of money into Republican council member campaigns in the city. So, if you want to know how that works, that's also part of it. But yeah, it's just if I was the Olympics and I was looking at what was going on in Huntington Beach, I would just be like, no, I don't want to be there. Like, and which is crazy because the Olympics are corrupt as hell.
Totally.
And yet somehow Huntington Beach managed to make the Olympics say no.
So where are they going to have it? Do you know?
I think they're moving it further north. I want to say probably like either maybe Venice, possibly Santa Barbara. But yeah, I don't know for sure, but I just know it's not going to be here.
Okay. Well, all right. Have fun with your free beaches then, I suppose, or your empty beaches
right?
during the Olympics.
Yeah. Dog Beach will be open.
Thank goodness for that.